It is the Bobby Mo Show. I'm Chris Shublin, the play-by-play voice of Robert Morris University football and basketball. Speaking of the latter, we have a very special guest in the studio with us today. He is Andrew Toole, the head basketball coach at Robert Morris University. We're going to talk with Andy about the coming season, about his career here at Robert Morris, and, of course, about Madness, which is coming your way Thursday night. All that to follow right here on the Bobby Mo Show coming up next.
Parents, sign your kids up for the all-new Romos Kids Club presented by Mike and Tony's Gyros. It's free for all kids 12 and under. Your kids get free admission to all Army football games, select men's and women's basketball games, special game day activities, and a free Mike and Tony's Kids meal. Parents also get special ticket pricing for any extra tickets. Register today at rmucolonials.com/Kids Club or call 412-397-4949.
Andy Toole is the head basketball coach of the Robert Morris University Colonials, and despite popular belief, you have not been here as long as I have. I mean, it seems that way because, I mean, you're the face of the franchise. It seems like you've been the face of the franchise forever now.
Well, I think I'm catching up to you. Not that I'll ever fully get there, but being in my 12th year now is astounding to me. Every once in a while I think about it. You know, I was just talking a little bit earlier today about how, you know, I've been at Robert Morris University for 15 years and how fortunate I've been to be able to be a part of this program for 15 years and some of the incredible moments and memories that we've been able to share together, Shove, over that time has, you know, seems like it's filled much more than that span. And so it just has been an amazing experience, the growth of the program, the growth of the campus, you know, all those things that we've seen in 15 years is just remarkable. And like I said, I'm just really fortunate to be a part of it.
3 years as an assistant coach, 12 years as the head coach, and we're getting ready for another season to start. And we'll talk about the season coming up. But when you got here, those first 3 years as an assistant coach, you weren't married, you didn't have kids, and you didn't have gray hair. So things have changed, and obviously you've grown.
Well, the only thing I knew that was definitely going to happen when I got here as an assistant is that I was going to get gray hair. If you've seen my mom or my dad, you knew the gray hair was inevitable.
Yes.
The marriage and the kids part was maybe TBD, but yeah, so much has changed in my life, and I never would have imagined being in Pittsburgh for 15 years, let alone being able to be, you know, a head coach for as long as I've been. You know, I think there's a lot of guys in college basketball who would love the opportunity to be a head coach for over a decade anywhere at any time in their career. And so for me to be able to be hired at 29, now be 41, it just has been an incredible run. And I don't think I could have planned it any better or been any more fortunate for it to work out the way it did. You know, we had some great teams when I was an assistant. Coach Rice did a great job. Those guys really embraced our style and our system, and guys that I have such great relationships with even to this day that you're in contact with, you know, every other week it seems. A bunch of guys will be coming back for the game against Mount St. Mary's on November 19th. And, you know, so they feel a part of this program. They feel a part of this community and campus. And, you know, I've just, like I said, been really fortunate to be able to be the guy that has the head coach on his door, because it's been, you know, something that even though I'm glad I get paid for, you know, I probably would do if it was in my spare time. I mean, that's just how much I love being around the game, coaching the game, and building teams. And that's, you know, that's what we've done here over that time period.
I know people come at you all the time and they say, oh, what was the greatest Robert Morris moment in your memory? And I'm sure that, you know, right away they say it's got to be the Kentucky game. But, you know, and I realize what a major, major milestone that was. But there are others.
There's tons. And I think if you asked every coach that's in our athletic department, if you asked a lot of players when their careers are done, yeah, the games against Kentucky, the championship games, you know, NIT games, you know, those things all are awesome, right? Playing Duke in the NCAA tournament, you know, going to overtime against Villanova, those are things that you'll never forget. But a lot of the great memories that come from being a Division I athlete are the things that happen that no one else sees. When you're riding on the bus, when you're in the locker room, when you're in a practice, you know, those are the things when guys get together, that's what they talk about. Yeah, they'll laugh and they'll joke about, you know, this game or that game, or how crazy this was that happened against this opponent, or a shot somebody made or a play that somebody made. But really, we're all the special sauces is in those moments that are off camera, those moments that are in, when it's just you and the team, when it's you and some individual players, and you really get the opportunity to get to know guys, to impact guys, to create bonds and memories that, last far longer than 4 years.
It's the Bobby Moe Show. We're talking with head men's basketball coach Andy Toole of the Robert Morris University Colonials. Is there a moment or a couple of those crazy moments that happened off the court, out of view of the fans, that you can actually share with us today?
Yeah, I don't know. There's tons, right? I think you just, as you go throughout the day and you are talking to people, whether it's you're talking to Lucky Jones, you're talking to Russell Johnson. I was on a text chat with Anthony Myers, Russell Johnson, and Lucky Jones last week, and it was like those guys have never left campus. Lucky misread a text; he sent the wrong text back, and Russell's saying to him, "Lucky, can you please pay attention?" The number of times that Russell said to Lucky, "Can you please pay attention?" is in the thousands, right? And so, as soon as everybody gets back together, you kind of fall into some of those same roles. And the funny part now is, and it happened with me and my college coach when players would get together, we say, "Coach, you remember this? Coach, you remember that?" And he'd be like, I don't remember any of that stuff. And now they're, "Coach, I can't believe you did this," or "Coach, I can't believe when this happened," or "I can't believe that, so-and-so did this and you didn't know about it." And I'm like, some of the stuff I don't want to know about, right? But again, I think that's all what makes college athletics so great and what has made my experience here at Robert Morris so special.
You and I have talked about this, but maybe a favorite road meal. I'm not looking for an endorsement of a restaurant, but maybe something or somewhere we've been that you absolutely say, "Oh, we get back there, I'm going to this place again."
What was the place we went to? Was it when we were in Grand Canyon? We went to that house that was like the Mexican restaurant in the house. Do you remember that? And we went into this neighborhood. Was that Grand Canyon? Or was that New Mexico State?
I think it was New Mexico State. It was
New Mexico State.
Andalays?
Yeah, exactly right.
Yeah, I do
Yeah,
remember
we pull into this neighborhood, and we're in this neighborhood, and we're like, where is this restaurant? Because there are all these homes.
Yep.
And I forget who was our in charge of our meals at that time, because everywhere we go, we try and see if we can eat something that's more authentic or something different than we have in Pittsburgh. Yeah. But when we went into that neighborhood, I was like, this can't be right. And we went along for the ride, and hey, the restaurant's over here, and all of a sudden we walk into this house, and we walk through the back of the house, and there's this big long table, and it's a fully functioning restaurant, and the food was incredible. Yep. The guys ate they were asking, can we get more, because it was so good, it was so authentic. That was one of our great memories. And then when we went out to eat in West Hartford, after we beat Bryant to win the regular season championship in 2013, that was a great meal, because I think everyone had been working and pressing so hard to win a regular season championship, that was definitely a celebratory meal that we had as a team and a special moment.
Those are fun moments that people just don't see. It's just the ball club and the traveling party, and that's it. Speaking of the ball club, let's talk about this year. And I know Madness is coming up Thursday night. It's a big deal. Gates are going to open at 7:30. 8 o'clock will be the tip, I guess we can say. Both the men's and women's basketball teams will be introduced. And for the first time ever, the public is invited to the UPMC Event Center to witness this. COVID's, the protocols and stuff like that, we're past that, so we're bringing fans back into the building, thank goodness. But let's talk about the club this year and how it's made up. And you have a lot of new faces.
Yeah, we don't like to say the C word very much, and so we're excited for Madness tomorrow night. It's going to be the first opportunity to really get to see some of these guys that people have read about, people have heard about. Not only on our team but also on the women's team. They have a number of new faces as well, and I think it's really important not only for the student body but also the community to come out and support this team. Our guys have been working incredibly hard, as you said, a ton of new faces. A ton of 4-year transfers, guys that are experienced at other institutions before they got to Robert Morris. But I think, with the summertime that we were able to work with them, and so far this fall, they've really started to come together as a group. And hopefully we can continue to build on that momentum as we get leading up to our first game, which is November 10th. So I know our guys are excited for Madness. It's always a great event. It's always a fun event. Dunk contest, 3-point shooting contest, opportunity to win my money. I still got this. I think I might still have the same money that I had from 12 years ago in my pocket that I bring out every year that no one's been able to take yet. So it just is a fun, festive way to kick off the season. And if we can have great energy in the UPMC Event Center, I think that'll be a way to set the stage for this season, where we're going to have a crazy student section. We're going to have fans back. We're going to have volume and atmosphere in the building, energy in the building, which we didn't have last year, and that was one of the things we missed so much during the season, was the inability to have some of that home court advantage. And so in the Horizon League, we know we've kind of raised the stakes with our competition. And so, our fans have got to raise their level as well and come out and support a team that's going to be playing as hard as they can. That'll be fun to watch, and that is talented.
I want to talk about the Horizon League in a little bit, but are you absolutely insane? I mean, you scheduled Kentucky again. I mean, we're going back to Rupp Arena.
You might have to bring Mike Isolino in on the Bobby Mo show, because he does our scheduling. But it was a good opportunity. I think one of the things that we've always talked about and we've always followed is trying to provide opportunities for our guys to play against the best, and who better or who signifies college basketball, maybe more than Kentucky. And, obviously we had the game in 2013 here. We made the mistake of going back the following year where they were out for blood. And certainly seemed like they got a couple pints of it. But, we'll go back down there again, and we're going to compete. That's the challenge, right? And I think if you're a player who's worth their salt, you want to go on the floor against the best, and you want to see how you stack up. And guess what? You sometimes come out on top, sometimes you don't, but it gives you a real gauge, and it gives you a lifelong memory going into Rupp Arena in front of 24,000 people and seeing how you stack up. So I'm excited to take our team down there. I know our guys are excited to play, in that kind of environment, and we're looking forward to going and competing.
Robert Morris head men's basketball coach Andy Toole is on the Bobby Mo Show. I'm Chris Shovelin, and you mentioned the Horizon League. We've got to talk about that because it was a major step up for Robert Morris to get out of the NEC and up to the Horizon League. And it was tough sledding last year, even with a shortened season. It
really was, and there was, obviously a number of contributing factors to the difficulty, but one of the main contributing factors was the opponents we were playing. Mm-hmm. The size of the opponents, some really good coaches, some very good programs, size in the front court, size in the back court, athleticism, skill, all those things as we kind of went through that year. Last year, we knew we had to improve. We knew we had to get better. And, last year's team, to their credit, they fought like crazy. The number of close games we played, the number of overtime games we played, was a tribute to their toughness and their desire to win. But this program hasn't been built on close losses, right? It's been built on competing for championships, and that's where we've got to get to. That was something that we always did in the Northeast Conference, and we got to do here in the Horizon League, and that's our goal. And so, some of the spring and summer recruiting was in an attempt to improve our ball club as quickly as we could. I think we've done that in some areas. I think there's still some areas that we need to improve it, and some of that improvement can come through hard work and connectivity. But that's really the goal that we have set forth for this team is to really stake our claim and establish ourselves as a team in the Horizon League that is going to be competing towards the top of the league.
Even the league got better though. In
right.
the offseason,
yeah, and that's the hard part. Like if you look at Cleveland State, who was the league champion last year, returned almost everybody and added some really talented pieces. Wright State returns almost everybody, added some talented pieces. Northern Kentucky, all these guys, Milwaukee, Detroit, everybody's added pieces to their team. And so we just got to be sharper. It just makes the challenge that much greater. It makes us have to really force us to execute on both ends, to understand how important each and every possession is, and to go out there prepared to play together and play as hard as we can every night. But I think this is what we wanted, right? We wanted this challenge, we wanted this opportunity, and now we've got it. And so we can't shy away from it. We got to run towards it.
Okay. One final question before we plug Madness one more time. I got here in 1987. What were you doing in 1987?
1987. I turned 7 in September of 1987. So I think I was probably in second or third grade at the time.
Okay.
I was probably playing in the Red Bank YMCA 6- and 7-year-old rec league.
I was going to say, you had to be hooping somewhere.
I definitely was hooping. My first league, I think, was when I was 5, so I was like a vet in '87. I was on the older side of the league probably at that point, and I was running around being a maniac. So pretty similar to what I'm doing now, working in a gym every day and running around being a maniac.
Well, that's good, because even when you were at the University of Pennsylvania, I'll never forget this picture that they have in the is it the Palestra in Philadelphia, of you sitting on top of the rim, the bankboard, going to the NCAA tournament as a player.
First time I ever came to Pittsburgh was for the NCAA tournament in 2001, and so little did I know 6 years later I'd be back, and 20 years later have not left. So it's been a great ride, and the game of basketball has really afforded me so many opportunities, on and off the court, created so many relationships for me, opened so many doors, and I'm indebted to it forever, and so that's why I try and pay it forward as best we can.
One more time, Madness, Thursday night, doors open 7:30, tip-off at 8 o'clock. You'll get to meet the men's team. You'll get to meet the women's team. The coaches are going to be there. We'll hopefully have a lot of students in the stands and some fans from the general public, and it's free of charge. People can come on in and be a part of this thing, and it's going to be a lot of fun. And I know it's something that the guys and the gals look forward to every year because it's always a dynamite lightning show.
Yeah, I mean, they do a great job with the music, with smoke, with lights, with lasers, whatever else they have going on. I mean, every year there's a new and exciting introduction for the players. You know, the guys get to pick their introduction songs, and they get to, come out on the court and have a little bit of fun and a little bit of style with, the start of the season, and it's really a ceremonial kickoff to the year. And I think if we're going to try and create one of the best home court advantages in the Horizon League, it starts tomorrow night at 7:30 when those doors open up. If we can have students filling in there, if we can have the community coming in there, I think it'll really pay dividends for us as we get into some of those dogfights down at the end of the season.
Absolutely. And the season opens up against Central Florida on November 10th, and we'll have that game for you on the RMU Game Day app. Andy Toole, the head coach, Robert Morris men's basketball. It's going to be fun again. Get to travel, get to go out on the road, get to play home games in front of fans. Can't wait for it to start.
Can't wait either.
Want to catch all the action of RMU football and basketball, but your schedule is too busy to commit to games in advance? Have we got a ticket package for you? Our new Flex plan gives you the ultimate flexibility to pick and choose your games and saves you 30% off regular ticket prices. For only $99, you'll receive 12 ticket vouchers you can redeem in any number at the box office on game day. Call the RMU Ticket Hotline at 412-397-4949 or check it out at rmucolonials.com.
Back here on the Bobby Moe Show, Chris Shovlin. Let's take a look at the results of some of the games and what's coming up for the athletic teams here at Robert Morris University. First of all, let's start with women's soccer. They lost 2-0 at Cleveland State on Saturday, but won 1-0 over YSU in overtime yesterday. Men's soccer, they tied Detroit Mercy 0-0 this past Saturday. They'll play their final game on Friday at noon. It'll be senior day, and we hope to see you there celebrating the seniors at the North Athletic Complex. As far as volleyball is concerned, they fell 3-0 to Oakland on Saturday and then lost 3-2 to Cleveland State on Sunday. This week, they will be at Purdue Fort Wayne. That'll be Friday night at 6, and then at IUPUI Saturday afternoon at 4 o'clock. The Colonial football team went on the road this past weekend, and they had 3 turnovers in the first quarter that led to a 21-0 deficit. They tried hard to come back at Gardner-Webb down in Boiling Springs, North Carolina, but fell 28-17. Hopefully they'll get back in the win column this coming Saturday when they play the Hampton Pirates. That'll be a noon kickoff at Joe Walton Stadium here on campus. And don't forget, Trunk or Treat Saturday leading into the game on Stadium Drive. We hope to see you there for that. This will also be the Pink Game sponsored by the Zeta sorority. So we thank the Sisters of Zeta for that. And one more time, we need to remind you that Madness is coming your way Thursday night at the UPMC Event Center. You'll get to meet both Colonial basketball teams, the men's and the women's teams, and that, again, will be an 8 o'clock tip-off to meet the Colonials at Madness. 7:30, the gates will swing open at the UPMC Event Center. We hope to see everybody on campus at the Event Center. And, of course, the public, for the first time ever, is invited to meet the Colonials on that first night, Madness, Thursday night. I'm Chris Shovlin. That's the Bobby Moe Show for this week. Thanks so much for tuning in. We'll talk to you next week, too.